Williams grade grand final between Werribee Centrals and Bannockburn. Bannockburn are leading by 14 points at the final change.
Basically, Nick Smith told them, we can't go defensive on that defensive side. They're going to take the risk and bring it out of you, and you might as well get beat by 24 or 2 goals, he said, so they're going to go on the attack if they can. But the Bannockburn side have been pretty good, and they're not going to allow that at this stage. As it picked up by Thomas now, he can't quite get a kick out. Over to Kennedy. Kennedy gets it across there to O'Malley. O'Malley gets a scrabble, but Scott Thompson gets it in the sandpit. He tries to handball it out, but it goes to Buchanan. Buchanan over to David Kennedy. Here they go. He's got the right foot, puts it up towards the centre half forward. He's looking for Bernardo. He gets bundled out of it with strength from Delahunt. Scotty Leftchook's running for the ball with the Bannockburn player, and the ball's going to go out of bounds for the first throw into the last quarter. And it was pretty good play this time from the half-back flank. That might have been Colin Rule, was it?
Yeah, took the ball over the boundary line.
Right, Colin Rule.
They've come out with a bit of gusto.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to, as up it comes. Bernardo in ruck, but it's a big, big tap out there. Probably by Colin Rule again. It goes to the Bannockburn boys. No one can pick it up. Over to O'Malley. It's Christian. He can't get a hand. It's going to be holding the ball. It's not paid.
Macca.
Drifts in towards the forward line. Oh, it's picked up by, looks like Tim Smith. He gets the kick smothered. Comes back out towards the half-forward flank. That could be Stanford out there, who's played a terrific game. Over there again to Rule. They can't get it out. Kicked off the ground by Marty Colleen. Colleen goes over there towards Thomas. He's grabbed and he did have the ball, and it could be holding the ball, but the umpire says no, he had no prior opportunity, and he'll throw the ball up around about 35 to 40 metres in front of the Werribee Central's goal, which they dearly would love one at this stage of the quarter. Up it goes now, forced back to the ground. It's very scrambly. The pressure's right on. Umpire won't play a free kick there and says, give it a man, I'll try and clear it out again.
Well, Grubby, while the umpire's doing that, you've got your thinking cap on, because we've got to give out the promoted trophy and guest video medal for the best performed player in the grand final.
Geez, I tell you what, I've seen easier jobs. Geez, up it goes. Bernardo couldn't quite get it out. Maybe he did. Comes out towards Bannockburn players. They put it up towards the centre of the ground. They've gone on the high side here, the members' side, and it could be trouble. Up goes O'Malley. O'Malley gets to the ball first. He gets a handball just in time to Peter Gray. Peter Gray can go to Colleen. Opts not to. Puts it long in towards centre up forward. He's looking for Leftchook. Gets bundled out of the way. And a big mark that looks like, could that be Thompson at the back? Nice kick now, required, and it is too. Oh, just over his head there, punched away. That picks up by Bannockburn over to Stanford. Stanford over to probably Cameron McCallum. McCallum puts it up towards centre half forward. Up they go.
Rowath out the back.
Rowath's the danger man. He grabs hold of Steve Kinnear, but Steve Kinnear outpoints him this time. Gets the ball away out towards the centre wing position, maybe half-back flank. O'Malley taps it to the ground. The ball may not go over this time. Rowan Thwaites picks it up. Puts it out on towards the half-forward flank. He's looking for Buchanan. Can't quite get there as Peters storms his way through like he's done all day. Puts it up towards centre half forward. It goes over the head of Hart. It's then picked up, a beautiful pick up there with Daniel Black. He puts it back in, but it's grabbed by Paul Hart. Over it comes. Joe Pace taps it on in front of him to Colleen. Colleen on the left boot goes in towards the centre of the ground. It's all Bannockburn, and they're going to pay the mark. And I can't see who's that, Fano. I can't quite see who that is. From here, it might be Phillips, is it?
Actually, I'm calling, but maybe they've got
Good bit of play by both sides there as the game's hotting up. They need another goal to make it interesting here, the Werribee Central's boys. Taking a long time for the ball to get back to him. He'll take his time, his boys, and he comes. He's going to go short. No, he decides to go long and use the wind. That's probably the better option. He's put it down to where there's a 2-on-1 contest. It comes out towards O'Malley. O'Malley kicks it, probably gives ground a little bit, but he's gone to Joe Pace, and Joe Pace takes a nice mark. You haven't got time to muck around, Big Joe. You've got to look upfield. You've got to find an option. He's going to come out in now. It's a little bit dangerous at this juncture. And Joe Pace goes back. It'd be a good effort to kick it today, Joey, and he does now. Puts it up towards the wing position. It's a little high. Leftchook's up there and takes a good mark. Handballs across. Goes over to Buchanan. Comes into the game a bit, Buchanan. He puts it up towards Justin Johns. Johns can't pick it up. Now he does. Goes back onto the left. Doesn't know where to go at the moment. There must have been a free kick back here. They've pulled it back. And Justin Johns will take the free kick probably for down the ground. Very crowded forward line now. In he comes. Puts the roost into it. Puts it up towards the centre half forward. Tim Smith goes up with Delahunt. No one can take the mark. Rule comes out. He's put it back towards McCallum, and McCallum will take the mark, free kick, whatever you like. It must have been the free kick because they've played it advantage. Down it comes into towards, Rowan sitting on his own. Young Steve Kinnear gave him 3 metres, and that's all you need to give this boy. He's put it out towards Pilgrim, his partner in crime down there. He's always dangerous at this stage, Pilgrim. He gets onto that left foot. It's not a good kick this time, and it goes over the line. There's nearly a mark. Play-on's the call. The Bannockburn boys have got it. It's pushed out towards Roweth again. Roweth's the danger man, but it goes through Stanford. Over it goes. Nobody can pick it up. In comes Pilgrim. He may get a free. No, not paid from the umpire. Roweth off the ground, and it goes through for 1 point. Look very, very dangerous there, Bannockburn. Because I think 1 goal will fix this game up. Thanks, mate. 1 goal from the Bannockburn side at this junction might even finish the game. Oh, it's a dangerous kick from pace, but he takes his chances, and Marty Colleen takes a falling over diving mark on a half-back flank. He puts the left boot into it. Oh, it's a shocking kick. It might come off. Over to Daniel Thomas. Can't quite pick it up. He's grabbed when not in possession, but it was Tiggy. Play on. And umpire says, give it to me and I'll bounce. Up it goes with Peter Gray in ruck. He's opposed there to Daniel Black. Out it comes. No one can pick it up. Rowell's in there again. Gets a handball out. It goes out to Tommy Stanford, who's played pretty well. Up they go. Pilgrim can't take it. Rowan Thwaites intercepts. Puts it out towards the boundary line. He's looking for safety there, and he'll find it. But they need more than safety at this stage, because 9:8:62 to 7:5:47. And we've only gone 5 minutes into this last quarter, with Marty Colleen coming off and Dave Dorling coming back on the ground. In it comes now. Peter Gray and ruck with Big Thompson. No one can really get it. It goes out towards Christian O'Malley. Can't pick it up. He's had a bit of trouble picking it up for the day. This time he does to Peter Gray. Gives a little handball. Comes out to the Bannockburn boys. I keep missing that bloke. I'll pick him up in a minute. Pilgrim can't quite take the mark. Out it comes now. No one can pick it up. It comes down towards the Centrals boys. Roweth picks it up. Boy, geez, he's dangerous down there. He's picked it up. He takes it well. Oh, this will be a goal. Will it? No, he's missed it again. And Werribee Central stays alive in the 2001 Grand Final. Testing time now for the Werribee Centrals boys. They have to get a goal here, or the game is out of their keeping. Up it comes. Good kick. Falls a little bit short though, as Dorling can't quite take the mark. He scrambles well, gets it out to Thomas. Thomas gets a little kick when it possibly could have been a handball to Dave Kennedy, and the ball goes out of bounds for a throw in.
That's right on the dot.
And it comes now again. Up goes Big Thompson, gives a little push. That's okay. Goes over to Buchanan. Buchanan kicks it in the direction, but Delahunt's going to take this, and he's going to steady things down a bit, Delahunt, this time. He's got a couple of blokes. Oh, Big Scotty Thompson's on his own over there too, but he's not quite a good kick. It's going to get to him, and he takes a good mark. Right on the 50. He'll kick it from about 51. Oh, he's gone to the lead. He's looking for Pilgrim, and Pilgrim will mark this, and that spells big danger.
Bring back at 5 to 2, it's no better. Okay.
Darryl Pilgrim. He's only 30 metres out actually. 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, he just cut in at 2 o'clock and then Jason will come in and take over.
You wouldn't see a player of this calibre miss this. As he comes in, oh, it's gone straight over the umpire's head. That's a beautiful kick, and that could be the game. That's a beautiful goal from Darryl Pilgrim. By God, he's dangerous down there, Fano.
Is that the end of it?
It could well be from here.
Yeah, well, I think you might be right. 7:5:47 plays 10:9:69. Grubby.
Yeah, it's a bit of a break that's going to be hard to overhaul in this wind. I can honestly tell you that there's no way that the boys will obviously give up. They'll play it right out till the end, but they've got to do something a little bit extra special now. Up it goes. With Peter Gray and ruck against Thompson. Both of them have been pretty good. Ball's hit the deck. No one can get it out. It's picked up by Buchanan now. Buchanan onto the right boot. He's looking out for Christian O'Malley, who couldn't quite get it. Now he does on the second attempt. Goes down towards the forward line. He's looking for Bernardo. Bernardo gets a hand to it, but can't get two. You've got to be 2 hands down there, and it's Colin Rule punches it over the boundary line for a throw in the right forward pocket down at the school end.
No, he's not there. We're calling.
There it comes now. Something special, as I said, required. Up it goes. Bernardo in ruck. Gets a nice tap out down. No one can get rid of the ball. Is that Delahunt coming out again? He might as... No, it's not this time. It's Frost, I think. And it was. No one can get the ball. The umpire says, give it to me and I'll bounce.
Well, Grubby, I hate to say this, mate, but I think it might be 2 out of 2 for Bannockburn.
Well, just wait till they get out of this little foray into attack. A goal here puts them back in it. Up it goes now. There's a big scramble down there. It's picked up by O'Malley. No, he couldn't pick it up again. The Bannockburn boy goes over down there. The umpire will bounce it again. I dare say he would never pick a free kick in the grand final in the middle of that pack, Fano.
No, you're right.
You're a very game man to do so.
Well, sorry I had to leave you there for
That's
a few
all right,
minutes,
mate.
Grubby, but we had to get some levels back at the studio, right, for the main game.
No problems. Up she goes. It's a tap out by Bannockburn, but it goes to O'Malley. O'Malley feigns the handball, gets it over to Buchanan. He's a goal kicker, but you can't kick him when you kick him into the guts of the bloke coming towards you, because it was a great shepherd. Possibly a throw, and he has paid it, I think. And Adam Gladkey wouldn't miss too many of them. And now...
It wasn't a deliberate throw, he just meant to hit it forward, he scooped it up.
That's exactly right, and I think if anybody in the side you'd want with the ball at this position would be Buchanan. The distance may trouble him into this wind. In he comes, puts the bird into it. He's drifted it across to the side. It's coming back. It could have been touched. It might be a goal. And it is a goal.
Who kicked that one?
Well, that's what they needed to maybe fulfil that hope of getting back into this game, Fano.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what though, to their credit, they haven't given up, have they?
Oh, they won't either. They won't either, and obviously Bannockburn won't either. They've both been very good sides throughout the year. But as I said, if they were going to get back into it, they had to kick one very quickly then. They did. There's still a chance.
8-5-53 plays 10-9-69, and there's still 20 minutes to go, Grubby.
Well, there is. It'd probably be a bit of an injustice, because without being any bias in it at all, Bannockburn have been the better side for most of the day.
And they have had one extra man.
Yeah, well, that's right. Up it goes now, down in the middle again. They're trying to fish it out. It goes over to Paul Hart. Paul Hart gets the ball in the centre. He puts it out towards the half-forward flank. He's looking for left hook.
Bit of a push there on left hook.
Out a little bit. The ball was a fair way away. Could have gone the other way. Out comes Johns with it now. He puts it up in towards the forward line. He's looking for Bernardo. Makes good position.
Tell you what.
Very, very strong Bernardo, and he's got a good pair of hands.
Plays on.
He puts it in towards. Oh, here he is sitting on his own here. It's a mark. It's a mark.
To Daniel Thomas,
Daniel
isn't it?
Thomas, I think it is for me. It's a very long way away, but I think it's Daniel Thomas. It is.
That's Daniel Thomas.
And he comes now, and I tell you what, it's swinging away, but he might have missed that. He has missed it too. That's a bad miss there.
That brings Werribee up to 8 goals, 6-54. Bannockburn 10-9-69, and we've been going about 10 minutes of this final quarter.
Yeah, that would have put them. A couple of times they've had come within just over a kick and they've missed goals, but then again Bannockburn missed a lot themselves, so there's no discrepancy there. As out it comes. Up they go, they set themselves. No one can take the mark. Left hook bursts his way through. It's a left footer and it's not a real good one, but it's going to reach its destination in Thomas again. He bangs around a couple of them. He puts it back in towards the centre, and there's a mark to Werribee Centrals, and it's Bernardo. Bernardo been pretty well held down when he's been down on the forward line, but he's just got away a couple of times.
Well, this will make the game interesting if you can thread this, Grubby.
30 odd metres out, as I said before.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of opportunities to get within just over a kick, and they've squandered them.
What do you reckon?
Well, normally Barney's a pressure player. He's a pressure
good
player,
kick.
and normally would kick this under pressure.
And you're right, quite right. He's put that right through the middle.
And that's a good goal from the captain.
That brings them back to 9 points.
There's plenty of footy left in this game yet, Fano.
Well, you must keep saying to yourself, what could have been the scoreline had it been an equal playing field?
Well, that's a question of, you could ask that, but obviously they haven't got that, so they've still got.
Well, they're doing a mighty job without that.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job.
So that's 10-9-69 to 9-6-60. So there's 9 points of difference in favour of Bannockburn. Hope it's not a draw.
I think left hook's made a difference up forward. It comes out. Oh, that's a throw, but it's not paid. It goes to Buchanan. Buchanan's looked. Peters again. He's been very good, Peters. as he comes out towards the half-forward flank wing area. And that's a nice, strong mark by Wes Phillips, who's been pretty good too. Phillips dances around, gets on the back onto that left boot. He puts it up right up towards grey, I think it is.
Oh, lucky
black
bounce.
Maybe. One of them colours.
How do you had to get it out the back?
No one can get it. Werribee Centrals has it, but the umpire says, give it to me, and I'll throw it up for, I would say, the 175th time today.
Yes. Well, I reckon I've got my best on the ground picked already. But I'm not going to say who it is yet. But he's...
I reckon I've probably got mine too. There's Roweth. He's my second best.
Oh, okay. Well, we're close.
There's a kick off the ground and throw it in, he says. No, I'm going, that's where they started everything from there. This point.
Yeah. Well, he was my second best.
Yeah.
So we've got it back to front. So what do we do there if they get...
They've had a lot of good players.
If I give him 3 votes and you give him 2, that means he gets 5 votes each.
Well, there's only 2 of us here, isn't there? As how it goes. Big Thompson is it? No, Zane Carroll it is. Someone else picks it up. I couldn't see who that was. Out it goes. Oh, going over the boundary line for a throw in, and they've got to keep it down here. Bannockburn. Score one more goal, and then I'll say the fat lady's going to sing.
For Bannockburn.
Yeah, one more goal will do the trick here. In it comes now. Well, there's no ruckman there, and the big fella tries to grab the ball out of the ruck. He couldn't do so. Comes back out towards O'Malley. O'Malley to Dorling. Can't get it out. It's a little bit of aerial ping pong as Joe Pace picks it up. He'll have to go for the boundary, and he finds touch. But that's not going to be good enough. They've got to do some attacking here, or they're curtains for 2001, Fano.
Well, I think it's Peter Walker poked his head around the corner before and said it was all over.
Yeah, but he didn't know which way, he said.
Oh, okay. Well, 9 points. I mean,
Oh,
conceivably it go anywhere.
I'll tell you what, it's a good kick, but it's not
That's a
quite
point.
good enough.
10
That's
points.
And I would think from this stage, Fano, they'd have to take it straight down and get one and really get something going. As we look at the scoreboard, it's just coming up in a minute.
70 plays 60.
Points, 70 plays 60. Oh, that's a good kick. It's gone out to Peter Gray. Takes a nice overhead mark. He's got to get up and get it moving. He gets up quickly. Oh, he's run too close to the man on the mark. Doesn't matter. He didn't smother it. Out it goes. Big marks required. Fogarty's taken the second grab, but unfortunately he didn't have the first grab, and there's no claim on that. I can see that quite clearly, and the umpire's made a right decision there in just saying I'm going to bounce it. No good arguing, son. You didn't have the first grab of it. Up it goes. He's going to have a bit of a word. No, he's not. He's thrown it up in the air. Another big fellow. Gray's back on the ground. Is it all black? Out it comes now. Dorling can't pick it up. It's kicked off the ground. They're going for safety there, Bannockburn. A good pressured piece of play, and the ball comes out. And I think this is about the first time the ball's gone on our side of the ground where we can see all the players, though, Fano.
Yeah, we haven't got very good eyesight, Grubby and me, and we've struggled over the other side of the ground. Eric Nichols is standing behind us laughing.
Peter Gray and Rucker Big Thompson. He gives him a nudge out, which is quite fair with his body. Goes down to Carroll. He can't quite grab it.
Ronnie.
Comes out to Darryl Pilgrim. Darryl Pilgrim possibly could have got a free kick there for holding the man. Umpire says no, and the ball runs over. Oh, Peter O'Malley's trying to put a bloke into the fence there. It was a fair bump, although the ball was already out. Hip and shoulder. Possibly a little bit of frustration just creeping in. The game is slipping away a touch here. 10 points the difference. They're a fair way in. Buchanan's called on to do the ruck. Does it sufficiently, but the Bannockburn boys squander, get on top of it. Carroll on the right boot, but he's missed it. He could have got around the neck. Umpire says no, that was legal, and it's gone through for 1 point. That's
71.
11 points. I'll tell you what, Fano, one more point and then 2 goals the other way, and we could be back here next week.
Yeah, but it could make it difficult too, couldn't it?
Do we have another breakfast?
Do we have another breakfast if we have a replay in the reserve?
I would think so. Don't worry about bacon and eggs, we'll just drink pots. 10, 11, 71, 9, 6, 60. We've gone just over 15-minute mark. The time's running out. Peter O'Malley kicks in. Geez, it's a good kick against the wind. Fogarty's up there with all the Bannockburn boys. There's plenty of air. Could be McCallum, but it comes out to Fogarty again. He's looking for Thomas. Thomas takes a mark just. It was a grass cutter just above the ground. Bit of a Steve Waugh catch in slips. In he comes now. Puts it up towards the wing position. He's looking for Kennedy. No, left hook comes through and takes a good mark. Left hook. It probably put him down the forward line just a touch too late. In he comes. Big kick down towards centre forward. Oh, it's Bannockburn everywhere here. And I can't. Who's that bloke? I've missed him all day. That's Biscay, and he's had a very good game. Biscay.
He's just back on. He was off for a while.
Yeah,
Eric Nichols walks past with his hat on backwards.
Presley sideburns. In he comes. Oh, he's taking his time now. He's letting the clock tick away, which is pretty good football. Going to go towards the boundary line, which is again good football. Someone might have run over the mark here, and if he did, it will be 50 metres, and it is 50 metres.
Adam Gladke's paid the 50 metres.
Well,
Grubby.
there's no use complaining about it. If you run over the mark, you run over the mark. He's actually given him about 37. He could have took him a bit further. He's a bit lenient. Cameron McCallum, he could be figuring the best too, that bloke. He's played well. Up towards Pilgrim. Pilgrim's very dangerous round goals. He's trying to pick the ball up now. Can't quite get to it now. He's forced it out towards the boundary line. He's going to keep forcing it to the boundary line, and the ball finally rolls over for a throw-in. And I think Fano, the fat lady, might start singing.
I said that halfway through the third quarter and you laughed at me.
Yeah, well, you're a know-all, aren't you?
I get Ronnie Pilgrim and Darren Roth mixed up. They've got the bike shorts on and they both run like, you know.
And they're both kicking goals. They're both playing good footy. As Paul Hart can't quite get the ball. Joe Pace, he handballs over to Christian O'Malley, but the boundary umpire's right on the spot there, and he'll call for another throw-in. 10-11 to 9-6. What are we going, Noel? 20? Over it comes now. Two big boys, Peter Gray and Ruck, can't pick it up. Oh, it could have been a free kick there, and he's going to pay it. He's going to pay it holding the man. And this might put the icing on the cake for the Bannockburn reserves in the year 2001.
Who's got this one, Grubby?
I can't quite pick it up.
Kind of was
Esley.
Esley.
Greg Esley. Greg Esley. And he's played quite a good game too, Greg Esley. And he's got the chance to put the icing on the cake here for Bannockburn. Oh, it's a shocking kick. And it's gone out of bounds. I don't even know if it's made it on the full. Yes, it has.
Looked like a place kick.
Oh, it was a funny looking kick, wasn't it?
That's
Joe Pace to take the resultant free kick.
He started on the bench, Joe Pace, didn't he?
Yeah, he's wasting a bit of time there. Time he doesn't really have as he puts it up towards the half-back flank. Paul Hart goes over the top, can't quite take the mark. It comes out to Daniel Thomas. He's been pretty good, Daniel Thomas. Scott Leftchook's been nudged out of it quite fairly, though, by Colin Rule, I think that is.
Yeah.
And he's played pretty well, too. And it comes over towards Scott Thompson, who's played at a good game as well. They've had a lot of good players, Bannockburn. Oh, it's picked up beautifully there. It finishes up with Pilgrim. He can't get it. Thwaites kicked off the ground. There's a big bloke in the goal screen. He can't get it.
Couldn't get across to it.
Couldn't quite get across to it.
.72 plays 60, so it's
I'd say that's
they've got to kick 2 goals now to win, and I don't think they're going to do that into this breeze.
It's kicked in now. Up goes the boys, can't quite take the mark. There's a nice little tap out there. It comes out to Moody, is it? Wes Phillips it was, and he's missed the goal. And that's a real dangerous point. If Werribee Central's had any chance at all, you'd say that's just dissolved in one kick. As
That's
Peter
the
O'Malley
point, yeah.
decides to kick it to himself and play on. He runs out, kicks it out towards the half-back flank position. There's plenty of big flyers there, and Scott Leftchook, playing at centre half forward, is forced to go a long, long way up the ground to get a kick, and he looks for Buchanan. Buchanan lets it go. But Peter's coming in like a steam train, like he's done all day, as I've said before. Comes out to Peter Gray, who takes a nice chest mark. He's going to look further afield. He's got a little short kick. It's going to land in the sandpit there. Dorling picks it up on the right boot. Gets knocked as he kicked it, quite fairly so. Out it comes now to Thomas. Probably Central's best player, Thomas. Gives it over to O'Malley. O'Malley puts it into towards the teeth of goals. It needed to be straight. It wasn't. And it's 1 point that brings it back to 2 straight kicks.
He's been good, Dorling.
Yeah, he's been quite good. They've taken him on and off the ground, Fano. And
why though?
It's been for a rest. Maybe he's not quite fit enough, because I don't think I would have been taking him off with the formies that he's displayed today. But I know you're not supposed to say it too early, but here's my pick for the best on the ground, actually. Big Steve Delahunt. He kicks out. He finds a target for the umpteenth time today, and that target is Tommy Stanford, I think. Stanford puts it over towards the half-forward flank. Oh, it's a good mark to Zane Carroll. Zane Carroll, he shows promise. He's going to be a player of the future, that kid, as he puts it in towards the centre of the ground. It's a grubber. It's picked up. Play on they go. Here they go, Bannockburn, for one last fling. Puts it down towards the half-forward line. Up goes Pilgrim. Can't take the second grab. It wasn't him. Yes, it was. And coming out with it is the Werribee Central's boy, in Kane Rogazic. Puts it over towards Werribee Central's wing. Here comes Colin Rule. He's picked it up. He's caught with the ball. Play on's the call. Didn't have prior opportunity. He's going to get a free kick.
Too high.
Don't know what for.
Too high, Grubby.
And he's given it too high.
He's been good though for Werribee, Leftchook.
They moved him up forward. I think they might have moved him up forward just a touch too late for him to be productive as he's been. But that's been the nature of the game today. As Pilgrim's got the front spot here, he can't quite take the mark. Oh, it's picked up by the Bannockburn boy, and was it Phillips?
He's all over now. It's a point.
And if the game wasn't over then, it most surely is now.
10-14-74 plays 9-7-61.
In comes Joey Pace now. Kicks it out towards, it's a shocking kick. It goes towards the Bannockburn players. It comes out here again. It's picked up by Darren Donaldson, who's played pretty well also. They've had a lot of good players. Steve Kinnear leads in the race for the ball. He turns around, he runs out of bounds. And the bounder umpire will throw it in again, probably for the 700th time. There's been a lot of them.
Well, there has been. Do you reckon there's something wrong with that ball, the way they've been kicking it today?
Well, Bannockburn have seemed to kick it all right.
Well, there's the siren.
And it's all over for 2001 in the reserve grade, Banno.
Yes, the final score, Buckley's Entertainment Centre. Bannockburn 10-14-74 have defeated Werribee 9-7-67. After going through the season undefeated, they lost the second semi in atrocious conditions, and they've come out today and repeated the dose. Bannockburn?
Yes, they've repeated the dose. When we talked about the second semi-final, it was a lot of blokes who were very, very tall. There was a lot of rain about. The ball was on the deck, and I think they had an excuse that day. But there was no excuses today. They were beaten by a side that was just too good for them on the day. I don't know who you've gone for, but I've gone for Steve Dallahunt. I think most of the attacks in that first quarter against the wind, that's what won Bannockburn.
Yeah, he stood up at the start of the game.
Against it,
yeah.
And they all started from down here from Stephen Dallahunt.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you, but we're with an apology to Jared Peters.
Oh, look, I've got an apology for probably about 13 players down there. I reckon Wes Phillips was fantastic.
Yes.
Jared Peters was great. The Thompson boys, they just battled it out all day. They were very, very good.
Scotty McDonald played well.
Who?
Scotty McDonald got a lot of football.
Darren Donaldson. Oh, sorry, I'll tell you, my third best was Cameron McCallum was just fantastic for 4 quarters.
Yes.
On the other side of the
Stanford boys played well.
Who?
Stanford boys.
Yeah, both of them. Sorry,
yes.
Yeah, Tommy and David Stanford, both very, very... As I said, there's apologies to about 14 or 15 players from Bannockburn. On the other side of the ledger, very hard to find some very good players. But anyway,
okay, now what we'll do is we'll just go straight to the senior game now, and we'll just leave the reserve tape running. And Grubby, thanks very much for your help today.
It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ray.
Hello, can you hear us? There you go, Grantley.
I don't want you to be too serious.
Yeah, I think we're all in position. If Walker can sit down, yeah, we'll be right.
How are you, Grant?
Oh, not live. Thanks to the guys back in the studio. Sorry we're a bit late to come to air this afternoon, but we've just been finishing the reserves grand final here at St Albans Reserve, which has seen Bannockburn continue on their winning way this afternoon. 10-14-74, they defeated Werribee Central's 9-7-61 in the reserves grand final to follow up their win in the under-18s as well. Good afternoon and welcome to St Albans Reserve. It is GDFL grand final day for 2001. On 94.7 The Pulse, Bannockburn and Werribee Central's in our senior grand final this afternoon. Victoria's #1 country commentary team with you. As always, we've got the stars of the show here. Eric Nichols, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jace. It's great to be here on grand final day, and well, we've seen 2 excellent games already today, so looking forward to the big one.
As I said, Bannockburn winners in the under-18s this morning over East Geelong, and just now Bannockburn 10-14-74 defeated Werribee Central's 9-7-61, and the Centurions, having been undefeated throughout the season, they're now out in straight sets in the second semi-final and in the grand final today in the big one. So big effort by the Bannockburn boys to come from third and claim the premiership. Also in special comments this afternoon, as always, good afternoon to Laurie de Goldie. Laurie, how are you?
Good afternoon, Jason. I'm well and looking forward to a great game today. The pressure's really going to be on. Bannockburn in form at the moment. They've won their own under-18s. I guess they're the form side in the reserves as well, Jason. Bannockburn, the last couple of weeks have been really good. Bannockburn seniors are probably the informed side as well, so I'm going to have the job ahead of me today, but I'm quite confident that at least it'll be a good game.
Laurie's coaching Werribee Centrals this afternoon. The man coaching Bannockburn, if you saw him on Thursday night on Channel 31, he gave you no problems about who he was coaching. Good afternoon to Peter Walker.
How are you, mate? Yes, welcome all your listeners out there. Yeah, well, actually this morning I was focused, 100% committed. and the wheels have fallen off. I went to the breakfast this morning, great tucker, listened to Damien Fleming, excellent, congratulations to the GDFL, that was excellent. Come along here, watched some good footy, had to pop over to the loo a minute ago, run into some of those Irish mates of yours, Joe. I've got no idea what's going on now.
Yes, we've had a big 24 hours. The Irish, the Dublin City University Irish team have been out on a tour. We played them in the GDFL last night at Thompson under lights, so they kicked on a little bit, and I heard a few of them got home at 7 o'clock this morning, so they've seen the sun up and they've got back here this afternoon to watch the senior grand final, and they'll probably back up again tonight, I would think, as well. So Pete, stay away from them. I'm giving you the warning right now.
I think I should. And look, today's game I think is going to be a cracker too. Everything's adding to that, isn't it?
It definitely is. We've had a fantastic lead up. We see the Geelong Highland Pipe Band coming out on the ground now. We've got the parade of the champions around the ground at the moment. The medal winners from season 2001, both junior and senior in the GDFL. And at half time we'll have the Exhaust Brothers grand final sprint. And we'll be having that at half-time as well. Plus our Where Are They Now segment, a special Where Are They Now segment this afternoon, so stay tuned for that at half-time. The weather conditions here are absolutely perfect. A little bit of breeze to the southern end, but the sun is out. It's a fantastic day. Huge crowd here at St Albans Reserve for what should be a great day's football between Bannockburn and Werribee Centrals. Peter's just getting the last tips off off Peter Kelly. Race 5. Peter will be looking after the coaches this afternoon. He'll be looking after Andrew Howlett and Stephen Winter and having to listen to what the coaches have to say at quarter and three-quarter times, keeping us up to date with those sort of things. Team news, Eric. There has been some changes, and probably the biggest one for Werribee's side and Laurie's side, the re-inclusion of a former Whitley medalist.
Yes, only 2 years ago, Jason Festuca is in the side, and he replaced Dean Comensoli, who, if I had to say disgraced himself in the reserves would be an overstatement, because unfortunately he let things get away, was red carded, so after half of the first quarter in the reserves he was off the ground, having been replaced in the senior side. So as far as I understand, that's the only change in either of the senior sides as selected in the Friday's press. So we're really looking forward to how Jason Festuca will go, having only played basically 2 games for the season, and it will be very, very interesting.
Laurie, how do you think he's going to go? He's in your team today.
Well, I think first of all he'll probably start on the bench, I would believe. And no, look, I think the fact that he's out there, I think it'll all be in the timing when they can bring him onto the ground. I think that's if you're going to play him there, you've got to have the surprise element. When he does come onto the ground, I think that they'll have Bannockburn will have a plan in place that they pick him up very, very quickly. And if they haven't, they could pay the penalty. And I think. I just want to make one comment on the win today. I think it was a bit similar to last week, but the strange thing about the whole affair is I thought in the reserves and also on 18s they were able to kick goals up the other end at the school
against
end,
the Breeze.
Against the Breeze, so we can probably not take too much into the Breeze, I guess.
All right, well, everything's in readiness here at St Albans Reserve. We're going to have the presentation of the Reserves Buckley's Cup, and then we'll have the Senior Grand Final. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will have more of a preview of Bannockburn and Werribee Centrals this afternoon. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football. Well, we may still be on air, actually. I don't know whether Grant's probably gone out for that Baskin-Robbins back there, Eric.
Yeah, perhaps he has.
Perhaps he has.
He hasn't got back.
Perhaps he has.
Hey, mate, how's the multiculturalism here today?
We've got it all, haven't we? Irish, Scottish.
Irish footballers.
And we can see the parade of champions around the ground at the moment. They've got about 100 people following them because they're kicking some footballs into the crowd, and the few kids want to get some off the back of the van, I think, so back of the ute. So they're going around at the moment. We see Sean Maloney, Clayton Trotter, David Peters, who won the senior Whitley medal. The Tansing medalist, David Peters in the reserves, and Sean Maloney, the Ettridge medalist in the under-18s, plus some of the junior winners, David Holsfine, Matthew Featherston and Anthony Zeno on the back of the Rex Garrell Ford ute running around St Albans Reserve at the moment. So congratulations to those boys.
Now, the other feature, Jason, that must be very inspiring for the Geelong District Football League, there are thousands of people on the ground.
Yeah, there is. There's well, with only 3 teams participating today, you'd think, well, possibly not, but there's a big crowd here for Bannockburn and Werribee Centrals.
I think they probably think it's going to be a cracker game.
Well, it's going to be a cracker game. Yep. Well, we might be taking that break now. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football. You're in having a piss, were you? Did I catch you on the hop? Sorry, mate.
That'll do for an excuse.
Hey, Eric, what bloody umpire have we got to put up today? Some moron, is it?
I missed that. Dead right.
Hey, Grant, I'm just worried about what mongrel. Umpire we got today.
Yep.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Huh? Did he?
Yeah, good on you.
Whose shorts has Trot's got on?
Yeah, that's mine there.
Yes. Basically, you can put them down the line as you get them if you like, Grant. Well, umpires Ken Andrew, Darren Bench and Adam Hunter, is it?
Yes, Adam Hunter.
Boundary umpires Haskins, Burns and Gladkey, and in goals Edwick and McDonald.
So good luck to the men in white this afternoon, getting the grand final in the 2001 GDFL season. They're out in the middle, Bannockburn going to the southern end of the ground, and you're saying before the break, Laurie, about the breeze, and that it is probably 2 or 3 goal breeze towards the southern end, but teams having no trouble to kick goals into it in the first 2 games today.
Yes, that's quite true, Jason, and I think that probably the senior footballers will probably make that look as though it's going to be less. They've seen it kick a little bit longer and work a little bit harder into the breeze. But saying that, there's certainly assistance down this southern end of the ground. If you get the ball in the right position, I think you've got to try and probably centre the ball, get across into this right-hand pocket and go in from there. A lot of guys in the reserve seem to miss what you would consider probably reasonably easy goals from that pocket over there, which would definitely be the dead pocket, of course. But I thought this morning it's a pity it is as windy as it is, but I don't think that'll bother these senior sides today.
Pete, one change to your team. Well, couple of changes. Kevin Connors back in. Ashley Perkins, probably the big one, back in after injury. Zane Carroll played in the reserves grand final win.
Yeah, and that's probably a bit of a surprise. Zane's a very good footballer. I think he's got a lot of football ahead of him, but he can probably drift in and out of the game a little bit too much, and this is a cruncher, so I think they're probably going for a little bit more experience. It was mooted around the traps that Robbie Henderson was going to play too for a bit of strength, but he's missed out on selection. I think Bannockburn's got a very good mix of players. They've got some old heads there in Ronnie Pilgrim and fellas like that, but they've all Wentworth. But they've also got the young injection. This morning, young Tom Mullane Grant won the Rookie of the Year at the breakfast, and kids like that. Ross Dillon, he's only 20 or 21 or something like that. You know, these kids are, really matured, and they've been in a side that haven't lost a game this year, so they've got plenty of experience throughout the year, plus had a few opportunities during last year. I think the game's going to be won or lost in the centre of the ground, actually. I think the wind last week, it didn't really play much of an influence on the game. If anything, it was opposite of what you thought. 28 goals for the game, 18 into the breeze. I think teams tend to work harder, so I think the ball's going to be won and the game's going to be won in the centre.
Looking out there at the warm-ups, Pete, Kevin Connors looks pretty free, reasonable, a hamstring, couple of weeks, taking a huge chance going into a grand final. I suppose Bannockburn, if he's not 100%.
Well, look, between you, me, look, don't let anyone else know I'm saying this, Eric, but I think Chops is a bit of a psycho. I don't think he feels pain. I think he's as tough as they come, and he'd be out there saying, look, don't you worry about me, boys. I'll carry my weight. You just follow my lead. I think he's as tough as nails.
So they're going through their final paces at the southern end, and Werribee Central's not yet out on the ground. They're just about to come out now. Their banner is up at the northern end, led out today by Roland Beck. So it might be a milestone for Roland this afternoon as they come out on the ground. There is Jason Verstuca coming out. So
And we'll play, and I reckon we'll start on the ground.
we'll start on the ground, Peter has said. Is that where you want him to start, Laurie, on the ground?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he does start there, but I think if they're going to, if he's in there for this surprise element, I think probably off the bench would probably be the way to go. But I think Peter just spoke about some of Bannockburn's youngsters, but I also believe Werribee got a few young players in there. I think a lot will depend on Warren Foley today with his ground speed. I think this game today it'll be I agree with what Peter just said. It'll be probably one in the centre, but the sides are prepared to put as much pressure on the people with the footy. One of the things I haven't seen a lot of this year, and I don't know whether Eric agrees with you or not, is when the guys have got the footy, there doesn't seem to be enough tackling. And I think today's a day for that. If you're prepared to tackle and put your body on the line and go hard. To me, a grand final is you go out in the first quarter and you throw everything at it and you demonstrate to the opposition who is the strongest side and the side that really wants this footy. Werribee have definitely got to do that today, because if this game's close to three-quarter time, I think it'll be a Bannockburn victory. I think they want to be well in front and put the score on the board and take it from there. But I think we're in for one mighty game. The people here are probably very much favour of Bannockburn, but a lot of strange things can happen. I know they're champions. You can get the collywobbles a little bit at three-quarter time if there's a bit of a margin in this game, and that's Werribee's main hope, I think.
Well, we just saw Zane Carroll go up and get his reserves medallion, and there was a lot of cheers for him, so he's obviously taking it fairly well.
Have a look at the head on that.
Darren Rowell, there's always one, isn't there, usually, Eric, who unfortunately misses out. I remember a couple of years ago Lincoln East was a bloke who missed out. I think it might have been in 1998, and fortunately for Lincoln today, he's coached the under-18s to a grand final win, so a fantastic effort by Eastie. But I can remember he was just a shattered man before that game that he'd missed out, so it's great for Zane.
Well, there's two guys, Zane Carroll and the man who got the medal for best on the ground, Steve Delahan, been an absolute icon for the Bannockburn club. Was dropped only 6 or 7 weeks ago, but he's come back and he's just shown the character of the man. I'd suggest to play the rattling good game he's played today. That really is what winning premierships is all about. And Zane Carroll probably a bit stiff. He wasn't probably too far away from selection, I wouldn't think.
Peter Kelly has joined us, and he has been out at the toss of the coin, because we can't really see it. There's a fair bit going on in front of us. But Pete, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jason.
How did the race call go at breakfast? All right?
Yeah, very good.
We're going to get Sunline over the line today.
Oh, we'll be in trouble if we don't.
Yeah, now you had the toss of the coin out there.
Yeah, and Werribee have won the toss, and they're kicking to the southern end.
So they've won the toss, and we'll kick to the southern end today. You'll be looking after Andrew Howlett and Stephen Winner this afternoon, the coaches. Have a good day.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks to Peter Kelly down on the boundary line, and he'll be looking after, as we said, what the coaches have to say at the breaks, the major breaks this afternoon.
Laurie, there's some interesting aspects going out. I'll have a look at Shane Andrews, very heavily strapped on the left knee, I guess from an opposition coach's viewpoint. That's something you take note of very early in the day.
Definitely, Eric, and that's one tactic I'll be using. Matt Hamill will start on him for sure. I've said before, Shane's definitely a one-touch player, and when he's on song, he's a very, very good player. But I think Matt Hallam today has got to put as much pressure on as he can, get the ball to the ground, let Roland Beck prepared to run the footy out the ground. They're a very, very good unit up there. They'll have to be on song because, as I said, if Shane's got that touch today, he's going to be very, very difficult to play on. And if they can cut him out, I know we said before it's going to be one in the middle, but you have to kick goals as well. And if they can stop him from kicking goals, it'll give Werribee some sort of chance of winning this game.
Conversely, Pete, I can't see the Werribee warm-ups, but I can, just over the top of the players there, see Chris Delaney is there, so the calf muscle must be pretty well okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't think they'd take the risk of playing him.
Yeah, actually, I think we spoke during the week, Eric. I think they had about 7 guys that either were injured last week or had played their first game back after having an injury. So it will be interesting to see how they come up. There was him. There was also Foley.
Massara just kicking the footy. I see. They're all out there.
Young Smith.
So that's an interesting observation.
It'll be interesting to see how they go. Like we always talk in retrospect about taking injured players into the game, but you really want to put your best team on the field, and sometimes you just take that risk. Especially now you've got extra interchange. So
I think that's probably pretty right, as we have a very raucous Bannockburn reserve side in front of us.
Yeah, they're pretty happy. As we said, they won the reserves by think it was about 13 points in the end, was it, Eric?
Yes, 10-14-74 to Werribee Central's 9-7-61.
So
And the under 18s.
and the under 18s, they beat East Geelong 9-4, 58 to 3-9-27. So, well, it's going to be a big night in Bannockburn, I think.
What about Monday?
So, great effort by the reserve.